Welcome to Tone Talks. Welcome to Tone Talks.
Let me let everybody fall in. We're going to have a discussion. I'm going to hit it. We're going to be brief. Call in is 310-388-3499. This is a show where I want you to call in. Please call in with your opinions. It don't have to be factual. Be respectful, though. And I want to hear on your opinions on Diddy and Cassie and this video that came out on Friday. And now his response today. I want to hear from the women in particular. How does it make you feel? I think there's a lot to discuss today. Let's get right into it. This is Attorney Antonio Moore coming to you from Tone Talks, having a discussion today about Diddy. I myself have been probably more critical than Puff Daddy, Sean Diddy Combs, Love, whatever you want to call him, than probably anybody on YouTube. For the better part of a decade, I was hypercritical of him as a man, him as a representation, and the lie that he presented, in my view, and a financial lie around the reality of Black achievement and Black wealth. I think for a lot of people, they struggled. Right now, we're on the precipice of a much larger issue that many of you might see prop up in your homes, because I believe he was the Jenga piece to Black male identity in some parts. As hip hop dies out, I don't know where these men are going to put their hopes, dreams, and aspirations, many of them being less than college educated, far from graduate school educated, no law school, no lawyers, no doctors. And so hip hop in the studio was the place that was going to fix it all. And if you tell them the end of it all is Diddy, what they going to do? Fall apart on you. I'm just telling you, you can hear it today, you can hear it tomorrow. You can deal with it in your house, or you can deal with it right now that we need to go some psych services, because Diddyology was how you was living. And now we see from Diddy to Jay-Z to all of them, we're seeing them all fall apart. To Kanye West is in a mental issue, damn near need to be in a mental home. They all falling apart. So here we are, and Diddy done put out a video. And I watched the first 10 seconds, stopped it so I can watch it with you because it was that crazy. Now, again, I'm an attorney, a criminal defense attorney. I'm not here for any legal advice. But what I will tell you is that video that he put out is one that he can't put out because of what he's already released. From a logical standpoint, and we'll go through that today. What video? He put out a new Instagram video in response to the Cassie video that came out of her in the hotel room getting assaulted like she was a dog, in my view. What Diddy is saying today on Cassie abuse looks like a PR campaign that does not make sense. And that's what made me do this show. I didn't plan on doing the show this morning. I got some wonderful women in here. Yes, a lot of Black men, they live on Diddyology. What it means is that you could be like a mediocre to low grade student at a lower grade Black high school, and somehow on the other side, you're going to be the top of the race, higher than the surgeons, higher than the top lawyers, higher than anyone, because of your intuition and imagination, with your lack of understanding of English, because you didn't really study the language. And you're going to take that and you're going to wrap it with degeneracy, and then you're going to run around and parade around and lead the race down the tube. Can we talk? Be in here in that room bobbing your head. You ain't read no books. Fuck we listening to. You ain't read no books. You don't know none of those. You don't know what a verb is, an adjective, none of that shit. Just reading, just talking. And can we talk about it? I want to get to it. This was the hideaway post Jim Crow for what was happening with incarceration. It was the identity of Diddy and some others. We look at Suge, all of them. This is the end. End of the what Boys to Men say. And I want to have a discussion today, not only about Diddy, but the people who supported him throughout the time. We're going to go through Angela Rye, the NAACP. I'm even going to have to bring up Killer Mike. And I got a lot of respect for him coming out and supporting ADOS, but it's time for everybody to come out and denounce this man. And actually also, did you know? And if you didn't know, you can say you didn't know. And I don't know if people are going to believe you, each person, but I know that you got to say something today. Can we get into it? Let's get right into the clip of Diddy, because some of you guys have not seen that, and respond to that together.
So difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom.
Wait, let's play it again.
It's so difficult to reflect on
We the victim
the
now.
darkest times in your life. Sometimes you got to do that.
Let me pause for a second. So the guy that was on the yacht running around making black men in Uber cars feel less about themselves is now telling us about a dark time. I hate this shit.
I was fucked up. I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted.
Let's pause for a second. This video is a minute long, but I think it's only fair to show you something else before we continue that gives this thing context. It is this release. So we have a release from Diddy before we have that video on December 6th of 2023, which just says, after all the lawsuits came out and the black producer, the male producer brought, and Cassie's thing came out, her lawsuit, for the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I did not do. It got so bad after the Friday video that came out from CNN, they put a community note on this thing. CNN has released a surveillance video from the hotel where Sean Diddy Combs is throwing and kicking Cassie. Let's finish this clip. Let's finish it.
I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help.
Let me tell you this. Let me come back on screen. I'm sorry for having to go back and forth because I got to bring certain stuff on screen. I need to see. Look, as a defense attorney, when you do Alcohol Anonymous for DUI, when you do anger management for a case, you got signature lines, sheets. For me, I don't believe he did none of that stuff until he showed me the sheets, and it still don't fix any of it. But I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that I sought out help. Did you do 1,000 hours? Did you pick up trash on the side of the freeway? Some kind of Caltrans? I don't want to hear that.
I'm going to therapy. I'm going to rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every.
Who is he saying sorry to? What is he sorry for? See, this is a very, very clean PR statement where I'm not admitting anything, but I'm going to say sorry. So to me, this is a very interesting public. He didn't say sorry to Cassie. He didn't say sorry to the female victims. He just said he's sorry in general. All right. So
every day. I'm not asking.
Let me let y'all hear it again.
Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness.
Wait.
I'm truly sorry.
When have you ever seen Diddy look this sad? The Diddy that he Mr. Black Excellence. And what he does is he perpetuates an imagery of black achievement and black access that did not happen, muting in black politics entirely and making us post-reparations Nixonian black capitalists. Many of us are struggling with the idea of what we thought Diddy made us versus the reality of who Diddy is. Let me say it again. Many of us are struggling with the idea of what Diddy made us. Not just made us feel, made us. He remade who your grandparents was. He remade who your parents was. He remade how much money you was going to make. He remade how much your kids was going to make because you was going to make it through rap. Now you got to deal with the reality. The end of it all, the loop of it all is Suge Knight, is Diddy, and so many others. Jay-Z, hi, and caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hello.
What's your name? Where you calling from?
This is cousin Kia.
Oh, it's my cousin Kia down in Atlanta. She tied in with the Atlanta music. Give us your take on it.
Since I'm a human lie detector, he's lying.
Ooh.
You can tell by his mannerisms when he's doing his apology. He's looking to the side. He's positioning his mouth. You know how like a kid is being caught doing something wrong and is trying to fake cry.
Have you met Diddy before?
Yeah, plenty of times.
Okay.
I first met him when I was 16 years old, so that's over 30 years ago.
Okay.
And to be honest, the Diddy I was around was like major money Diddy, which created this monster. Right? Money and power. This is around, I think after the Tupac and Biggie murders, I think Diddy's life changed.
And let me say something. I believe part of this show as we get along is I want to hold everybody accountable. All these magazines that put him on the cover, and I'm not saying what they knew, but there was a general sense, right, in the industry that there was a lot of monstrosity going on with Diddy that nobody investigated. I'm not putting it right on these magazines, but with what was being accused, there should have been a lot more review and a lot more research and a lot more respect to the women that were victims. Give me your take on it.
Oh, yeah. I mean, he didn't apologize for anything. He didn't take accountability for it. He didn't specifically say anything that he was sorry for. So nobody's going to accept this apology. It's almost like once the camera stopped, he was like, okay, you got it? Okay, good. That should be enough, to everybody that's standing on the other side of the camera. Diddy is a reflection of the smoke and mirrors that my generation, Generation X, through hip hop and celebrity, and like once you told me one day, once you get an amount of certain wealth and popularity, well, not really popularity, but wealth, right? Your dollars can't go but so far, right? So we say, example, 60 million. Like we have all the Generation X has taught the younger generation, because I don't think boomers was the generation of go to school, go to college, get a good degree, and get a job, right? So my generation through hip hop was the dreamers. It's like we can be millionaires, and then it turned into billionaires, and then we have the Jay-Z's and the Diddy's around here saying they're billionaires when they're not, right? And through celebrity, we have this fabrication of what life would be at that level when they're living in hell. They're living in total hell, smoke and mirrors. I've been telling people for years, because I have a lot of rappers, I have a lot of celebrity friends, and they all tell me nobody has money.
So now let me focus you back. What, as a woman, what did you feel when you first saw the Cassie video? I know that given your history, you might know a lot more than you were prepared for it. But what did you feel when you saw it Friday? Vindicated, or what did give it to me?
Cousin, you know me. I don't. I know everything that he is supposed to get is already been spiritually aligned to him since the day he was born. So it's not even about vindication. If you are a demon walking around downfall. And with that, he needs to take the whole music industry with it, so the younger generation will have a safer place.
Yeah, and this has been what I've been saying with the Decadent Veil for quite some time, because I believe gambling is doing the same thing with sports. It's time for it to go.
Oh yeah.
You know, and I guess what's interesting about what happens next isn't just about Diddy individually or the NBA as a league. It's to question, what do your husbands and your sons and even your daughters look like without celebrity? I don't know how much of them is left. You know, for each of you guys to answer, and I know that sounds like a generalization, but I think a lot of what Black people did, because I see it with this, and I'm going to get into it later with Isaac Hayes and the billionaire stuff. It didn't make no sense. I'll talk about it later in the show. But like, we're listening to people who are celebrities' children. That's the first thing. I don't want to hear nothing from no celebrity child. But then second of all, more importantly, we also have created a world where everybody knows a little bit of something about something. No, if you ain't got the Federal Reserve data, I don't want to hear from you about wealth. And also, I don't want to hear about people that were propped up. What do I mean? These rap moguls were not businessmen. They were brand managers. They were the Lady Eloise of the idea of Black achievement. Marcus, how they say it, Kia? Marcus, you know that Lady Eloise ain't got no power.
So you about to come after my good friend Isaac, huh?
Oh yeah, hey man, I got to talk about that too. I got to talk about that billionaire thing he said. I don't know if you saw it, but Kia, any last thing you want to say about Diddy?
That's it. I just wish this is like a total revamp, burn to the ground of the whole entertainment industry. So I hope it's lifted back up with creatives, and we reward talented people instead of putting them on this like God status and icon status that we worship them when they're human people. So I just, and this is part of the process. Like P. Diddy he's just not P. Diddy. He is like the music industry. He was there before the Jay-Z's and the Beyoncé's, and I've seen him work.
Well, I would say that's part of the issue, is that you got a man that ain't a musician controlling the music. Talk about it. So what he represents is the Decadent Veil. He's not the artist. Hold on, is he? Do we not play the guitar or the piano, or do we remember him singing really well, and that's why no? Is he the man that press up the CDs, like he pressed or whatever? And no, he's not that guy. So who is he?
So what I won't discount his actual talent. I think his actual talent is a producer in a way where he can bring, and he has a creative mind where he can bring an idea and make it into fruition.
And my thing is, he produced the Decadent Veil. What we created is a value in producing the Decadent Veil. And I don't find value in that because I think it's destructive to our community. Just give me the artist straight. And I'm also gonna hold the white producers and the white people that take advantage of people as well. But today I'm talking about Diddy because you sell it on Black excellence. You sell it on Black excellence, then you cut out people royalties. Then you try to give them back their royalties so they don't testify against you when this stuff come out. All them NDAs that he was trying to get signed is for this moment. He knew this was coming. All them people he lies.
Was worth $10.
Yes, come on. Well, Kia, I'm gonna let you. I got a full queue.
Okay, go ahead.
Hey, thank you so much for starting it off. You got everybody calling in, cousin Kia, and also I know if Isaac hear this, she don't side with my opinions personally. This is all my views. Go ahead. All right, because I'm gonna light your ass up. Let's go. Or at least that statement. I don't know you personally. I don't know. I don't really listen to. I don't hear from no nepos, children of celebrities. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Boston, Massachusetts. Good afternoon. Happy Sunday.
How are you doing? Your name?
I'm doing well, thank you. I'm in my kitchen making some chocolate turtles. I just decided I had to make something sweet today.
All right. And your name is?
I'm Jada. I'm Jada from Boston.
Jada from Boston.
I've lived in Boston my whole life, born and raised. I I can't say that I'm shocked about this Diddy situation because outside of the wealth and outside of the quote unquote black excellence, this brings furthermore to light how we as a society and we as humanity have normalized violence against women and children. Because in my opinion, as soon as I saw the video, I thought to myself, they need to cut Cassie another check. Not Diddy personally, but every hotel where she was ever abused has to cut her a check because they were complicit in her being abused.
Yeah, I have, this is a smaller part of thing. My only thing I also have to say is her family, herself, has to take some responsibility as well. Because I feel for me personally, and I'm not a woman, I'm not saying that. If you go there one night and that happens to you, you didn't know this, man. You didn't know what the hell was going on. And I know that there's remorse about leaving and all kind of stuff, and we can get into that psychology. But I do at the same time think that this is too far, and everybody has to do an evaluation of how we got here. I'll leave it at that. But go ahead.
I absolutely understand what you're saying because as a sister and as a daughter, I would never allow, if I found out that my mama was getting her ass beat or if I found out my sister was getting her ass beat, that would be a whole different situation. But it very much comes to as a person that has survived abuse, it very much comes to the point of when you're face to face with a person who's doubting you, it only takes one doubter to keep you to go back to your abuser.
Especially as a young woman.
It really only Yeah, especially as a young woman who people are telling you, you got this opportunity ahead of you, whatever the case may be. Also, if the maids and butlers are complicit in putting drugs in your food so you're docile, everybody has a problem as far as you being the target of this man's ire.
You heard what Young Jock said. Diddy told her cut half her head off, and she did it. And
she did the next day.
Yeah. I mean, it's absolutely crazy because you remember wasn't nobody doing that, and it was just like, come on, man, what are we doing? Give me your take on last thing. What this video made you actually feel initially watching it?
I laughed as soon as I started watching it because at this point you're in this barrel by yourself and you couldn't claw your way out of it if you wanted to. I was actually in a live earlier. A woman named Fumi Desalu that lives, I think, in London, and she had a live because she met Diddy a bunch of times, and there was a woman in the comments that said, I don't believe that Diddy's going to go to jail, but he might take his own life behind this because this is too much for him. He's scrambling. He is literally scraping and scrambling, as he should be.
As he should be. And I believe that everybody who vouched for him, including the magazines, all should come out and have to denounce him. And they also should speak to whether they knew about this thing. And most of them will say they didn't. And you guys will each judge them publicly, whether you believe it or not. But if there's any knowledge, then I don't know. I don't know how you're supposed to view them. But I'm going to let you go. I got a full queue. Thank you so much. Woo, this is a crazy time. Thank you, Boston. We remember Black Excellence with Cassie in his arms, and then Diddy and Jay-Z. And I went to Giphy, and they didn't even have this one. I had to go to my old reservoir to find that. I mean, this was an awful video. I ain't even going to play it. It's that awful. Again, we started off today with Diddy doing a video this morning, I believe, as PR cleanup for Friday, but also totally in contrast to his defiance after Sean Combs' Cassie settled her bombshell case lawsuit after filing, and you had his statement basically, let me be absolutely clear, I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. And at that time, we were talking about Cassie's allegations. In Cassie's allegations was an allegation of abuse, but now he's saying something different.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life, but sometimes you got to do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom, but I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it. I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy and go into rehab. Had to ask God for his mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
He's truly sorry. And he didn't say to who, about what. And then also now he didn't even answer why he said that he did not do any of the awful things. They had to add a community note. He still got the tweet up. And this is Diddy and Black Excellence. Caller, what's your name? Where are you calling from?
This is April from Dallas.
Go ahead, give me your take. Hey, let me say this, April, before. So for years, I literally was doing videos saying that Diddy and this whole representation of who he was made no sense and that there was going to be a consequence. You got videos from 6 years ago, from 5 years ago, Puff Daddy and the Black Excellence, Hustle, basically, Revolt TV fires Black staff, the end of Black celebrity, Jay-Z, Diddy, T.I., and Kanye West, financial struggles. You had another one, how Black celebrity has filled America's news with gossip. You got Diddy and Super Bowl Uber commercial, and everybody was acting like they didn't understand what I was talking about because he was Black excellence. Well, we're here now. Now it's easy, and people can take their shots. But I don't understand how we got to a point where you couldn't see him. But go ahead, give me your take.
So I think that the main reason we couldn't see it is because, and I say we as the community, because we didn't want to. We wanted to believe that Diddy was doing all of this Black excellence thing. Like I said one time when I called before, that Diddy has been famous my whole life. And I turned 36 yesterday. And I've known about Puff Daddy pretty much all of my life. So we used to see him, and we always, as a community, think that he is a mover and a shaker, and he does all of these things. I didn't even watch his apology video or his PR video. I didn't watch that, and I think the thing to take from the video that we saw what he did to Cassie is that's not his first time. That, you know what I mean? That wasn't the first time that happened. I'm more interested in all of the places where they have stayed that have had footage because apparently the hotel took $50,000 and gave him the footage. How many other hotels have taken $50,000, $60,000, $70,000 to not release footage and things like that, or restaurants and things like that these people go to? I think that this is the year that the Decadent Veil is just going to come crashing down. People said, "Oh, Cat Williams said that 2024." Well, if you've really been listening, Tone Talks and Yvette Carnell, Breaking Brown, been telling us that this moment was coming. That all of this Black celebrity, all of this fakeness, it was coming. It's just more of a time for us to just get serious about what really matters, and that's our politics and our well-being. As we seeing right now, we see one of our quote-unquote moguls. He's crashing in real time, and I think that that's going to show that what we believe them to be is like the pinnacle of greatness. It's not that. And like your cousin said, these rappers and all this stuff, they ain't really got no money. She spoke truth to power when she said that. This is all it's all, like you said, smoke and mirrors. That's what it is. I just wanted to say that I don't believe this is first time. I don't believe that, it's disheartening. And for people saying like, why didn't Cassie leave? Diddy was like a couple of decades older than Cassie. So for a man to play on her little young mind like that, like he was wrong. And I think it's gonna be more to come. I'm gonna jump off here. I just wanted to jump in and just get my little sense. I definitely thank you for taking my call.
You're welcome. Woo!
All right, now.
What a great call. I totally agree with what she's saying. This is the superhero. This is what made Black men feel strong, like Popeye with their spinach. It didn't matter that your mama was a secretary. It didn't matter that you didn't have nothing in your refrigerator. This man was put out there as a veil to make us feel strong. So you remember Diddy saw my videos. What videos? This videos. I got like 20 of them. He saw these videos and he pulled me off that stage because I was going to go up there and murder. I was going to point right at him and say, and we don't need no Black billionaires. How about it? He good for pulling me off that stage. That revolt stage, y'all remember that? He put me on that on his IG. Now, don't get me wrong, I ain't got no problems with Killer Mike as a man, but it's time for everybody to come out because Killer Mike went under the video. I noticed, and I think he pressed like or something under the little, I don't know, the like for the little Instagram video. Come on, I don't know, man. It's time to get honest about denouncing this, man, and this whole thing is coming apart. What video? I'm talking about that video today where he's actually apologizing. Come on. This one on his Instagram came out about 2 hours ago. I want to talk about it. You got the Breakfast Club done brought him on multiple times to lift him up as the hero of hip hop. Where's Charlemagne at? Where is Charlemagne today to denounce him? Not just to say his actions were wrong. We beyond that now. All right. We got the Essence and, Ebony Vibe. I showed you the magazines earlier. All these magazines that push this man on us, they got some splaining to do. Vanity Fair, Rolling Stone, XXL. They got some splaining to do today because they for sure was pushing this Black Love Goals. And you got Diddy with, I believe that's Cassie. You got Jay-Z with Beyonce. We got Swiss Beats with Alicia Keys. You got Kanye with Kim Kardashian. They was pushing this on us, and it made us believe this was the goal. Well, I don't know. Well, I don't know. Can we talk? Can we get to it today and have the discussion? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from? Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey, what's going on? This not this supervisor Jimmy. You know what? It's like, I'm not necessarily gloating about it, but it makes it kind of easy to have conversations. Especially when we just kind of came up out of the era where everybody was aspiring to be a boss, and that you had a job was mediocre, and this was being pushed on a working class group of people.
Come on. Can I add one more thing? Can I add one more thing? I'm thinking of doing a show.
Sure.
Everybody been saying that they don't believe in college, and I think it's a propaganda from the wealthy to get you. It's like giving you gold and then giving you rocks and magic beans. Everybody say they don't believe in college. Well, we coming up on an age where a lot of y'all aren't boomers. You are Gen Xers, and your kids are 22 and 23. I want to know what kids that didn't go to college is doing, because everybody quiet now. Are they back at the house just sitting there? I want to know what was the consequence of this not going to college thing that we talked about. And I'm just saying that in the context of, because it anchored in hip hop. It anchored in sports as well, but it anchored in this idea of Black business. I'll talk about that towards the end of the show. It anchored in something that was so fantastical that it needed an image of reality to even make sense. And this was that image. Go ahead.
Yeah, and I mean, this guy's been unhinged. And I just remember having conversations with my friends, and we thought that we were doing something by supporting the rock. We would support Black business, and I said, you know what? I said, it ain't like guys are put in our faces to sell products and ideas, because either they're selling us liquor or they're promoting some political agenda. And Diddy, I close with this. Diddy's been unhinged. I remember being in, I think, Atlanta, and it was a guy who paid his money that bought a bottle of Grey Goose, and Diddy was on stage and berated this man for not buying the rock.
How many people were you around? Do you remember I did the COVID thing? I did it when nobody was talking about COVID. You remember when 3 months later, he came out with this summit, and then Angela Rye and Al Sharpton and Ocasio-Cortez and Van Jones all came on his COVID summit. And it was like, where did this man come from? What is he talking about? Where's Angela Rye today? Where is Al Sharpton today? Where's Van Jones today?
The whole, but even, I mean, you know, the conversation that you know, you and that ushered in, it silenced a lot of these voices. And you remember he started to kind of use the language of the grassroots. You know what I'm saying? This was around the time when he was pushing for revolt. And he started to use that language. So he was listening, but, you know, again, you know, I mean, it's time for more or less like the grifters and the entertainment class to kind of like really take a seat and let people who are that know what they're talking about speak, you know?
And for those people that might say he wouldn't have known, this is his Instagram. This is his Instagram that he took down because he went and seen the videos that I was putting up. Oh Lord. We got the Black Caucus, and we're not talking about a long time ago. September of 2023, you have him on stage with Marielle and Sharpton. Here go a better picture of it. They do a whole event. Sean Diddy Combs applauds Black leaders' commitment to defending democracy, driving corporate diversity. The Black Caucus. That's who put this out. Where the Black Caucus at today, though? These people need to be called on by you, the listener, to denounce him and also answer for why they supported him. That is where big change happens. Not just calling out him, asking the question, how did we get to a point where he's on stage and Yvette Cardinal and the ADOS Foundation are not? So Mark Morial is attacking ADOS, but then he's supporting Diddy. Talk about it. Go ahead. The caller gone. So look, somebody said, Kia, if you don't get out of here and stop, you did a great comment today. That ain't enough. Diddy in Bali building the house. Let me look. Can I look with y'all? Let's look. Damn sure in Bali, ain't he? That's the way they get the bamboo. All right. All right. So we having this discussion. We're not gonna stay too long. I think you should be asking Al Sharpton in particular, because this is how they anchor into the youth, because they don't have no youth support, in my view. When I say they, I'm talking about the Mark Morial, the Al Sharpton. They bring this man out, and this man 50 years old. So I don't know how he anchors them into the youth, but that's what we do. That's been the math for quite some time. And we've been doing that, and it's been working. Bad boy. I'm gonna take one more caller, and then I'm gonna get into the last section. Caller, what's your name? Where you calling from?
Hey Tom, how you doing? Appreciate it. This is Matthew calling from New Orleans.
Give me your last take on it.
Yeah, so my last take on it, I'm a millennial, and you know, this whole Diddy situation, this hip hop situation, is extremely pressing right now. Going back to what you said about the college situation, there was a lot of perpetuation of not going to school, getting drugs, quasi-prostitution, just for, instead of trying to find someone with character, I would have cried in a Rolls Royce than cry in a Honda situation. Instead of going to college, I would have sell drugs and be a scammer. Going to school in Atlanta, that was a thing. And just to see someone like Diddy and this whole idea of Black excellence crumbling down is amazing to see, especially watching you and Yvette Cornell and kind of breaking down where the Black dollar is actually at, juxtaposed to what we see with the Rolls Royces and the Rolexes. And like I said, I'm a millennial, and growing up, that was kind of the thing. And it just didn't add up. And you wonder, well, where are these people getting this money from? What's actually going on behind the scenes? And when you said that these people are brand managers, that blew my mind. Finding out that Diddy didn't own Ciroc blew my mind. So I just want to say thank you for what
and
you
he
all
sell
have
liquor.
done.
And he sold liquor. And he was selling liquor. And he was selling liquor on top of it. So really digesting it.
It's not something healthy. It's not something helpful. It's liquor to the community.
Mm-hmm. Well, man, thank you so much for calling in. Thank you for the millennials for calling in. Hopefully we get the Gen Zs as well They have been propagandized. I want answers from Vibe, from Source, from Angela Rye, from Sharpton, from Mark Morial. I want answers from everybody. Mary J. Blige, The Breakfast Club, Jay-Z and Beyonce, Alicia Keys. Everybody got some answering to do. Obama got some answering to do. Look at this. Today at the Congressional Black Caucus Foundation 52nd Annual Legislative Conference, National Town Hall event, entertainer and business mogul Sean Diddy Combs applauded the academics and activists speaking at the event for, come on, bro. Black Caucus got an answer too. This is September 2023. That is how he got elevated. He was represented to white capital as the voice for this race. Speaking about nothing. But that brings me to this right here. I want to talk today. I'm going to end the show by talking about this. I don't know this man, so I don't have no disrespect for him. I personally, I take Nepo baby conversation, nepotism, children of celebrities with a grain of salt. But I also, when someone says something like this, I just feel I have an obligation to address it. It fits into the narrative of the black billionaire. And I just tell you, I don't know what he's talking about, and neither does he. I did a paper, what we get wrong about closing the racial wealth gap. This fits right into that narrative. This doesn't do anything. He doesn't know. And in addition, I talk, you say hundreds, damn near 1,000. I would sit on the phone with Bob hours sometimes talking about the realities of black wealth. And if you don't understand who he is, that is the pinnacle of black wealth, and that doesn't own potatoes and oranges or anything like that. So I don't know what he's talking about, this guy. I just know what he's saying doesn't make any goddamn sense. I did the article using the Federal Reserve data some years ago, showing you guys, and it's a little out of order, I think. Without the family card, black wealth barely exists. So we deal with a community that is largely just surviving. The middle black family without the family cards worth like a couple $1,000, without clothes and TV as well, $1,500, liquid wealth, couple hundred. And what he is presenting is an arrival that did not happen. And I wonder if it's just total like ignorance to the information and the data, or just fantastical thought. And it doesn't matter which way, it just don't make no sense. It's taken us 400 years to get 10 black billionaires. Let's make 400 black billionaires in the next 10 years. Are we talking about Africa to do that? Are we talking about Adolf's people, American descendants of slavery? And it matters because I don't really need oppressive African billionaires as an expression of success. But then if we're talking about Adolf's people, we don't really grow the potatoes, the oranges, the eggs. We don't own the means of production. We don't build the weapons. I don't know. Come on. But in addition, he don't know that the billionaires didn't build themselves. It shows a lack of understanding of race, both historically and in present day. When we look at wealth, I've shown the chart before, I'll cut it in at the end. What it shows is that we're in a new depression. The people that are wealthy are already wealthy. The people that are wealthy and will stay are already wealthy. You saw during the Reagan era, what happened is a shift. So we had before in the 30s, I think it was around 20% of the wealth was taken home by the bottom 90 and the top 0.1. Black America's in the bottom half of the bottom 90. So there's another 10% of white folks that are millionaires that aren't even in the chart that I'm gonna show. But by the time you get to Reagan, the bottom 90 is taking home almost 38%. The policy, civil rights, labor unions, things like that. And the top 0.1 is only taking home 7%. After Reagan and the policies from Reagan to Obama to Trump to Biden, all of them, they enhanced the ability for extreme wealth calcification. And what happened is wealth calcified in white hands, and it is not a moment to celebrate. But because of Diddy and the black billionaire class, quote unquote, of three like low-level people, Jay-Z's a high school dropout drug dealer. Rent to own, anklets, Uber, liquor. Come on, what we talking about? That's what we celebrating. And so what we see is you don't even know these people. This is another post by another guy. It came out yesterday. The World Super Rich Club now has 15 members with fortunes over $100 billion. Hit them with a tomato. I'm not advocating no violence, but that's a statement in so many ways. You got Bezos, you got Elon Musk, you got Zuckerberg. But when we look at it, many of you don't know the background. Did you know that Zuckerberg's dad, when he went to Harvard, offered him either a McDonald's franchise or to go to Harvard? That's like $2-3 million. His dad. In addition, in 2004, when Facebook was just starting out, Mark Zuckerberg turned to his father, Edward, for initial working capital. So Facebook was started by the white family's money from being white. Jeff Bezos presented that there was a 70% chance that his parents would lose their whole investment, which was a few $100,000 in 90s money, which is like $1 million today, 800,000. And they did it anyway because they talk about the parents, but I believe his grandparents had a lot more money. That's how he started Amazon. And this man today in 2024, not in the 90s, is saying something about becoming tech billionaires to a bunch of black folks trying to pay their rent or their mortgage. The black billionaire has left a wake and a craze that many of you don't understand. And I don't do it by anything but the numbers. And these are the numbers. If you don't know the numbers, look at corporate equities. Look at how much black people have. 360 billion. That's what 0.36 is on this chart because it's in trillions. White America has $28 trillion. There's 80 million white homes. There's about 20 million black. That's a 1-to-4 ratio. This is not 1-to-4. And that's largely in the hands of old boomer retirees. We went through this. Private business, $15 trillion. We have 360 billion. What he's saying would require a post-racialism that did not happen. And it points to a specific kind of craze that this all created. A craze that shows that nepotism babies don't be knowing more than nepotism. And they don't really be understanding the truth about everything. But that's okay, though. Y'all will find out in your cities soon enough. When they take the Jenga piece that is Jay-Z or Diddy out of the whole block, your family might not survive. Because you left with a crazy man in your house talking that nonsense about wealth. I want to talk today. I'm going to say one more thing about tech, because that's what he said. Tech. They got a whole article on Wall Street Journal. Tech workers aren't as rich as they used to be. People love to ramble about getting rich with no idea what's going on in the economy. From starting small black banks, because we had that happening. Again, shout out to Killer Mike, but the black bank thing didn't make no sense. Banks are closing. Small black banks won't work. I don't think that it points to an understanding of where the society is at, we are in the society, the amount of politics that needs to be done, and then also who you are individually that might be blocking politics by uplifting all kind of gray area stuff. When we do hard politics for ADOS about reparations, we're going to talk about some gray stuff for the liberals. We're going to get in the way with the COVID summit. Can't have them ADOS out here. Can we talk about it? We got to do that decadent veil. We doing hard politics for ADOS people that isn't just left, it's left and ADOS. Not just left and black. And you gonna jump in the way with the COVID summit. Where Van Jones at on Diddy? Where is Angela Rye's statement on Diddy? I need you to denounce him today. I just wanted to come to you with a show because I don't know what everybody's saying. I just know that today is the day where we get some answers and we see the collapse of the decadent veil and black excellence. And it is my pleasure to be the first person to tell you that a decadent veil existed. This is Tone Talks. Please go to tonetalks.net, subscribe, donate, and share. Thank you for taking your time on this Sunday.